much better. See his shaved tummy. And we're just going to go, so we're at St Michael's Mount, which this is Penzance over here, and we are going to walk to this, and it's a big house, it's known as the castle, and it's like Mont Saint-Michel in France, but a smaller version. So there's a harbour here, and we are going to start our walk here and walk across this causeway here. Starting to walk across. Now we can only walk when the tide is out, and in the winter there are no boats, so we have a limited time. The tide is literally just receding away. All those people are waiting they want to paddle over, so the tide has just gone out far enough so we can walk over and spend a couple of hours over on the island, and then we will show you what we do. See you later. Just to show you, it's freezing. We have all the knits on today, but yeah, Cornwall in the winter. It's school holidays here, so it's far easier than it normally is in the rest of February. Yeah, let's take you along. So we just come across the causeway here, and this is the harbour. The tide will be going out from here. Here, so there are about 35 people that live on the island all year round, mainly National Trust staff, etc. And then the guides come over on a daily basis. I'll take you around. It's very windy. This is just walked back in the wind. It's very windy, cold wind, southeasterly with no goodness is all I can say. Woo. Hi everyone. So this is Nuki's aquarium. So we have come for a day out today. There's Matt and Monty. Ethan's gone doing some adventure golf in Plymouth. So we have come to Nuki Aquarium for the day. We've been here since Monty was a baby. Oh, I love these guys. Oh, look. They're so handsome.
They could be actually.
Oh, hello. You're so handsome.
I think the salamander.
Oh, he's so handsome. Look at his little legs. Oh, look at his little cute feet. Hi everyone, welcome back to the Cornish Stitcher. This is episode 12. Hi if you're new here. I think I've got some new subscribers that have come over probably as a result of being mentioned on a couple of podcasts from Easter Anglia Yarn Festival. So if you're new here, welcome. It's lovely to have you. If you're a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. I hope everyone's got a cup of tea or a drink, maybe a project to work on. And we'll get started. So those of you who are new, my name is Ness, or Vanessa, but Ness, and I live in the southwest of England in Cornwall, in a small market town, sort of about 16 miles in from the Devon border into Cornwall. We're about 7 miles inland from the coastal town of Looe. So yeah, we live relatively close to the beach, where is the place you will mostly often find me. Wild weather the better, and I love it. But yes, so get on to some news. You will have seen, maybe just, I'm going to put it in before, some footage of our February half-term shenanigans that we got up to. So this February we decided, it seems ages ago, this February we decided to stay at home for most of half term. We have a couple of kind of holidays later in the year, one to Scotland, one to Yorkshire. So we decided rather than taking a short break, we would just stay at home. We live in a beautiful county, why not explore it when it's less busy? So we we pootled on around, and but before that I used to live in Worcester from my mid-teenage years until I moved back just after having my 16-year-old son Ethan back to Cornwall. And so I did my kind of latter half of my secondary education and my university education living in the Midlands. And I have very fortunate, I have a bunch of really good friends who we've maintained contact since we kind of left school, and we've all remained very close. But because of the locations, we're very, very widely spread. I'm in Cornwall, my one friend is in Southampton, one friend is in Essex, 3 of them are in Worcester, and 1 is in Exeter. So we don't often get to see each other en masse, and so we were really fortunate that we managed to time it just right, that most of us, not all of us, but most of us were in Worcester at the same time. So it was a flying visit up and back overnight, and so I managed to see my one friend at lunchtime on the Sunday, my group of friends on the Sunday evening, Matt's brother on the Monday morning, and then home again in time for football. So it was all timed around Monty's football matches. So it was literally a very flying visit. For those of you who aren't in the UK, it's about a 4-hour journey from where we are to where we went. But it's notoriously bad on the M5 for being hold-ups on the motorway. So we were lucky and we managed to do it fairly smoothly both ways. So that was lovely, and those were the photos you would have seen. And then we maintain the rest of the week at home. So Ethan was revising for mocks, so didn't join us for every day out. So there's lots of footage of myself, Matt and Monty, and Ethan unfortunately was laden down with books and revision, but he did come for some of it. So we went to I don't know if you're familiar, but we went in Cornwall. There is a coastal island that's connected to the mainland by a causeway called St Michael's Mount. It is very similar to Mont Saint Michel on the Brittany coast in France, and I've been over, but always in the winter. So yet again I went in the winter, but we went whilst the island was open. So it's only open when the causeway is open or boats can run, and in the winter the boats don't run. So it literally is a case of when the tide's out, you can go. That was quite interesting because it had been a spring tide, so the tides were very high. The wind had whipped it up into a bit of a storm surge, so it told us that we could cross the island at 10:30. And at 11 o'clock, the causeway was still covered in lots of water. So we had wet feet. We managed to dodge most of the waves that were washing over in this huge kind of gusts of wind, except I got soaking wet feet. Monty managed to dodge it. I had a dog with me, so we had Ika with us, so which was kind of his first outing really after his procedures up at the specialist vets, which I talked about in the previous episode. And so he was very excited, but also pulling, well, let me go in the water, let's go in the water, woohoo. So that was a bit of a tussle, but we had the most lovely weather over there. It was windy, but it was really sunny, so we had a lovely day then. And then we went to later in the week, we went to Newquay Aquarium. It's a small aquarium in Newquay in Cornwall, but it's just lovely, and we went round twice because of Monty's request. And it's just really nice, and they have a rescued turtle in there that they managed to she's blind, and so they rescued her and rehabilitated her within the aquarium, but obviously she can't be released, so they've provided a safe haven for her. So yeah, it was a lovely week, and we had some nice times at home, and then on the Friday we had just a movie day at home. So it was rainy and horrible, so we've had some lovely times actually. And then everyone back to school and college and work, so yeah, been a busy couple of weeks. And then this last weekend we went to the East Anglia Yarn Festival and had a tremendous time. I will pop some footage in now and then talk about it. And then, so this podcast is a little bit out of order than normal. I'll talk about East Anglia Yarn Festival, and then I'll talk about works in progress. So I'll pop some footage in now for you. Yeah, so as you can see, it was an amazing day. I think very, very firmly East Anglia Yarn Festival has become my favourite yarn show. And as returning viewers will know, I love a good yarn show. I think I've got about 6 before the end of June we'll be attending. But East Anglia was my largest budget that I gave myself, and also my favourite. So we are going to be attending a couple of others locally. So the Sodbury Yarn Over, which we didn't visit last year, Wonderwool, and then we're going to go to the Big Flock in May in Bristol. So some more to come. But as I say, East Anglia has rapidly become my absolute favourite. And people were asking me why at my Knit and Natter group and my friends. And I think it's a variety of things. It's a very relaxed show. There are wide aisles. People's kind of sensory needs are taken into account. The vendors are magnificent, and some that you don't find anywhere else, much to my kind of issue. So I was looking through the footage ready to edit it last night, ready to put into today's vlog, and realised that I had managed to miss a skein of yarn that I was desperate for, and I realised I hadn't got it. So, and it's from Chromatic Yarns, and so I contacted her, and unfortunately she's not at any other show this year. So, but luckily she's going to send me one, and I'm going to purchase it via online. So that's the kind of thing. I mean, there are lots of vendors there that don't vend anywhere else throughout the year, so it is a tremendous show. And as you can see, so it started on the Friday night, although that won't be happening next year. So Laura from the Lonely Knitter Folk Studio and East Anglian Yarn Festival organizer has organised for the kind of, I think for the past 3 years, the Big Stitch Night on the Friday, which is a charity evening in aid of a local charity, and you go along and it's a big knit and natter from 7:30 till 11, and there's amazing raffle prizes and things, but understandably it's a massive workload for Laura, and so she announced on the Friday night that if somebody can take it over, that would be brilliant. If not, it won't run next year, which will be a tremendous shame for all of the attendees. And so I'm hoping somebody would step up and say, yeah, we'll run it. Obviously for us it's too far. We are miles away from East Anglia, so it's about a 7-hour journey for us. So anyone local to East Anglia wants to set it up, be amazing. So yeah, lots and lots of vendors that you would have heard of, and lots of vendors that that are new to us. This is the kind of show plan, and you can see all of this area here is seating area, so you can take a picnic, you can buy food, just brilliantly well thought out. And as a podcaster, I was an official podcaster, so I was given an official podcaster's lanyard as I was last year, but this year Laura such generously gave us podcasters bags with lots of goodies, including a full skein of folk yarn, which is just absolutely glorious. This is in 60% Romney, 20% Blueface Esther and 20% Suffolk, and it's just the most gorgeous blue. You can see it. I love it. And then there were lots of minis in here, in the most glorious of colours. You can see the most wonderful. So this I must show you, because this was from Tom Dyson Woodworking, and it is a skein holder that you can walk with, but I cannot describe to you the smoothness of this. I passed it around last night at my Knit and Natter group, where there were lots of oohs. Oh, that's lovely. So yeah, so that I will assemble that shortly, and the most glorious button, which is going to go on my wooden button, which I think is going to go on my work in progress. So yeah, so those were there were lots of other things in there, which I'll talk about in due course over the next couple of podcasts, I think. But yeah, then I'll link them below because they're just stunning things. And then my acquisitions. Well, it was a yarn show, so of course I did make some purchases. Bear with. First of all, on the Friday night, there is a big table where you can do a yarn swap. So I took along a couple of skeins that have been in my stash either 12 months or 18 months, and just, I know I'm deep down, I'm not going to use them. They were impulse purchases and I'm not going to use them. So I took them along for somebody else to make use of them. And in return, I got these glorious. I'm in a very, I've always been in a pink stage, but I'm in a really pink stage at the moment. So this one isn't labelled, but is absolutely glorious. And then this one is from a yarn dyer I've never heard of, Family Tree Yarns, and it's in the colourway Flower Fairies. Also very pinky with flecks of colour. My plan is maybe these will go into the Kate Davis store, the jumper I was talking about in the last episode that's going to have graduated pinks in. I'm wondering if these will go with, I think this one will definitely go with Herkle, Durkle and Spuddle, and I think this one will too. So that's my plan, is to put them into the gradient. Followed by, now these were purchases, these were not gifts, these were purchases, or they weren't swaps. My first stop absolutely has to have been James from James Makes Yarn. As you all know, I'm a huge James fan. I've used his Malibu Barbie, I've used his Sarah Harding colourway to make a hat. I absolutely love James and his yarns, and Matt, his husband. They are just wonderful people and wonderful yarn dyers. And so I went and I got this one. So this one's called Hippie. I've got no idea what I'm going to use it for. I just love it. It's very much a pastels delight. So this will sit waiting for some inspiration. I'm not sure what yet, but I love it. So nice. Followed by, this was the bargain bucket, actually, from Joan It Sew. Again, this one's in the colourway Wisteria Punch. So it's got a pink undertone, but it is also very lilac-y in places. This again could potentially go in my fade, but I'm not sure. I need to do swatches of it, really, of them all together. And then some of you may remember I had bought in the summer, I went to Lay Family Yarns to the actual studio, and I purchased 2 skeins of yarn in the colourway Pewter, with the very firm idea that I was going to knit the Padstow cardigan in those colours. However, as a girl who is originally lived in Padstow as a very young child, grew up there, spent my huge formative years in the most beautiful town, and I'm always over that side. It's home to me. It's where my heart is. It's absolutely just my soul-filling place. And so I was absolutely adamant I was making this Padstow cardigan by Victoria Marchant. But I really wanted to use a yarn that would kind of speak it. So I went and visited the Camel's Yarn. And the Camel's Yarn are dyers that used to live from the Camel Valley, which is the estuary that feeds down into Padstow. The River Camel is the mouth of Padstow. And this one is called Salt Etched Sea Glass. So I'm going to knit, I think it's, Victoria had knitted the very first hair sample in Camel's Yarn Glass, and Camel's Yarn yarn, and it looks beautiful. So I've got to get some mohair or kid silk to hold with it, but I absolutely love it, and I think it'll do it wonders. I think it just calls to me. Padstow cardigan made out of yarn inspired by the Padstow scenery. Just couldn't get more perfect. So that is going to be wound. I purchased this sock pattern. I just fell in love with it. It's in the Stow program, and I saw it on the Friday night, and I really wanted it. So this is a pattern by a new exhibitor called Tea Cake and Make, Nicola. She's so lovely. Go and look at her website, please. She's fantastic. She's got an Instagram account as well. So I am going to make these at some point, but they reminded me of the jumper. There's a jumper, I think, is it a petite knit jumper as well, with the trees on, but I just love this bit as well, and I think actually it'll keep my interest in a pair of socks, because it's colour work. I'm not going to hopefully get second sock syndrome so much. So that's my plan. And then last but not least, purchase wise, I lied. I got some yarnlings as well from Eden Craft. Here, they just do the most glorious yarnlings. There you go. They're all flying around. But they're 5 gram minis, which will go into my sweet shop blanket, which I'm working on slowly but surely. And then, last but not least, I walked past the Under the Olive Tree stall 3 times and gazed longingly at this yarn. And on the 4th visit, I have to go and buy it because I will just regret it if I don't buy it. And I just, oh my goodness, I don't know if you can see, it's got sparkles in as well there, and it's just heaven. So the colourway is Summer Nights. So I will pop a picture up here of the yarn dyer has also done a pattern to match this skein of yarn, which will fit it beautifully. And that's what I'm going to use it for. I'm going to use it and knit it into the pattern that she's designed using it, because it's just spectacular. And I love the way the colours pool on it. And it looks so different when it's knitted up to what it does in the skein, but still just as beautiful. Yeah, I love it. So those were my purchases at East Anglia. I think I did quite well. I did, you know, some nice, but everything's got a purpose bar the James one. But then they always get used because they're just one of my favourite yarns. The pinks are for the jumper. The green is for the camel yarn. And the beautiful Summer Nights is for a scarf. Which I think, given that it's a yarn festival, and quite often I joke, but I think you do get high on the fumes as you walk through the door. My budget normally goes out the window as I walk through the door, and off I go thinking, well, yes, I'm going to impulse buy this and this and this and this and this and this. And I just didn't do that this time. I was very restrained. It was really good, actually. So possibly because, maybe the way to go is because I've got so many stacked other yarn shows coming up. What I've done is cross-reference I've printed off the exhibitor sheets lists for each of them coming up, and cross-referenced like I did in the autumn as to who is at where. So if they're at multiple shows, I identify that I will stop at a particular show for them. And if they're not at the others, then they're a beeline for that particular show. Right. Whips. There are no finished objects. There should be finished objects. And therein lies the tale. So, if you are a returning viewer, you will remember that I was merrily working my way through the Harvest cardigan. Which, yeah, looks, wow, you've done loads. I have. However, when I went to try it on, it's too small. I measured myself. Looked at the measurements on the pattern. Should be right. Counted the stitches. And then looked at the top of the pattern, and I should be knitting it in Aran weight, and I'm knitting it in DK weight, but following the Aran pattern, so it's too small. And I've done a size smaller than originally planned because of being on Slimming World. So this has currently made its way. It's not drastic. It will fit eventually. Once I keep losing weight, I'll just keep following the Aran pattern now, using the measurements I've got, pick up the stitches for the sleeves, and it will fit eventually. But it was disheartening. I cried quite significantly because it really upset. It's pink again. Really upset me because I'd been putting hours and hours and hours in, really wanted to get it finished for the show, and 2.5 weeks or 2 weeks before realised this is not working. This is absolutely not working. Why is it off? So that's why. It's an easy mistake, but it's a stupid mistake for me to make. I've been knitting and crocheting enough for years now that I should know that you need to check the yarn. The problem is I'm making it in Stylecraft Highland Heathers from my stash, and I just saw Stylecraft Highland Heathers and carried on using it. I thought it was the right weight, but as it wasn't. And I haven't done a swatch because I'm really bad at making swatches and tension squares. I really don't do them. Very bad. but that has taught me a lesson that I really need to do that. So as that project was tossed away and popped into a corner, this is one of my bags, I decided to use up lots of stash and go back to my primary love, or my first love, of crochet, and decided to make the Granny Go Round cardigan by Iron Lamb. She suggests between 3 and you could do it in single colour or 3. She suggests 3 or 5 as an odd number. I've chosen 3, and I am on the last row of the body before I go and do the sleeves and the button band. But this was to give me a quick win of 2.5 weeks worth of crochet. So this is where we are. You can see we're about to, this has just got the grey band which I've done on this side so far, and then I do the rib, and then it should, so this is a cardigan with raglan sleeves in granny stitch. It's nice and easy. I've got ends to sew in, but it's nice and easy pattern to follow, and we need a little bit of concentration on the yoke till you split for the sleeves, and then it's just a 2-row repeat. It is a paid for pattern on Ravelry or Iron Lamb's website. She's got lots, and she's got a book out. So yes, this has given me the dopamine hit, I suppose that you can call it, the reward that I needed after such a massive error with the Harvest cardigan. And I knew that I wouldn't really go wrong with crochet because I'm a much more accomplished crocheter than I am knitter. So it was a win-win. I love the colour combinations. So I'm making it in a combination of stash yarn. Oh, sorry. Knocked you flying then. So the pink is West Yorkshire Spinners Colour Lab in Very Berry. This is Starcraft Recreate, which I actually bought to make a jumper for Matt and then changed my mind, in charcoal. It's got flecks of blue in as well. I'm not sure if you can see them, but they're nice. And then it's in, I wanted, even those two are almost 100%. This is 100% wool. This is recycled wool. So this is 40% wool, 30% acrylic, 30% polyester, but all recycled. I also wanted a wool. So I've got Drops Charisma, and that's just in colour 1, so it's cream. And it's working out really nicely. It's working out really well. I think because it's in wool, it's going to be epically warm. And we're now at the end of March. So in one way, I'm hoping that Wonder Wool is cold like it was last year, so I can at least wear it to a show and have it on and make use of it. But it's Cornwall, and I walk dogs on the beach. So it's going to be useful for quite a few weeks yet, I think. So that's that. And oh, I did do one finished object. I will pop it up here. Between the cardigan getting thrown in the pile and this cardigan getting started, I did a crochet headband out of some Bellica Yarns blue yarn, which I just love. I needed a real quick hit after the cardigan fiasco, so I made a headband, twisted headband, and I popped it in, and I love it. It's a simple design. It was literally just crochet rows into the back loop to make a rib and twist and sew. So it took me 24 hours, but it was a finished object that I was really proud of, and that I could wear when everything else was just falling to pieces in terms of finishing. Yeah, so I have now got a college project. My final college assignment has been allocated to us, so that's a big one. So that's the next few weeks kind of taken care of in terms of college time. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing a college City and Guilds in creative textiles, and this is our final assignment of year 2. Yeah, we've had, as I said, we had a lovely time away, and yeah. So the next one, the next yarn show is the Sodbury Yarn Nova. I will hopefully vlog from there, but equally I'm going to try and get, that's not until the 12th of April. I'll try and do this cardigan, get this finished, and then do a podcast around that, and then the next works in progress before we go to Sodbury, Chipping Sodbury in the Cotswolds, which actually will be lovely for you to see if you're not from that part of the world. It's a beautiful part of England. So I'll try and get some footage of the little town as well. Okay. Oh, and I forgot to say, I met loads of lovely podcasters at East Anglia. So I chased down Davina from Little Workroom Crafts. She is just, I just love Davina. She is such a kind, wonderful, genuine soul that and has had a bit of a rough time recently on her YouTube channel. So if you want to have Davina is at Little Workroom Crafts, I'll tag her below. I saw Franny Do Makes, so Fran from Franny Do Makes, in the afternoon on the Saturday evening. Went to the podcasters meetup, sat next to Sam Rayner. I'll link all of these below. And the podcasters meetup was really lovely. So I managed to see Maddie from House of Langford again. She and I seem to be stalking each other around the show. Yeah, it was just a really lovely time. Anyway, I think that's probably enough. I've been rabbiting on for quite a long time. I think this must be over half an hour, 40 minutes now by the time this is all put together. So thank you for watching. If you liked what you've seen, please give a like and a subscribe and hit the notification button. It really does help. I've noticed I don't understand YouTube's algorithms at all, but some videos seem to get a lot of traction and others don't get any at all. So yeah, if you could like, share and help grow the channel, that would be perfect. Okay, thank you. Take care. See you soon, guys. Bye.